Okay, welcome to Mindful Pilates. Let's begin sitting on a chair. If you have leg weights, you can use those. I'm also going to invite you to have your sandbag ready for class today if you want to put it across your pelvis. And if you don't have a sandbag, a big hand weight, like a 10-pound hand weight or a 5-pound hand weight, could sit on your pelvis and you could hold it for the work we do with our um, bridges. So feel free to bring that in. What I'm trying to do, for those of you interested in building bone density and learning a little bit more about weightlifting and resistance band training, is to add a little bit of that to our Pilates workouts. So we will also work with resistance bands in the future. And I know some of you asked me to send you links. I bought some resistance bands and they were not what they looked like, so I sent them back. So I'm still searching for the right bands, and then I will recommend them in case you want to get some. Okay, so I'd like you to sit on your chair where you can come upright with your neutral lumbar curve. And if you need a Gertie ball support behind you, you can go ahead and bring that in. Okay, I'm sitting towards the front of my chair just so that I can have a 90-degree bend in my knee and I can lift my heart and have a neutral spine. Then float one leg up and bend it again. So it's going to take some work to keep that upright seat as you lift the leg, especially if you have a little weight on the leg. And you're just bending the knee, unbending the knee to straight. So you're straightening the leg. Bring your foot into a tiny bit of turnout. And you can bring your hand to that inner quad and just feel how that muscle at your inner thigh is turning on. A part of that muscle down by the inner knee turns on mainly when you come to the full towards straight. So 20% to straight and then straight. That last part of the muscle gets to get activated. One more time. And then let's try the other side. Oh, my mom left and is coming back again. Okay, there we go. All right, then when you're ready, lift the other leg and bend. Lift, a slight turn out to the foot and bend. If you're a knee hyperextender, don't go that far, but do bring your knee to straight. Keep the heart lifting. Think of the hot air balloon lifting you from the center palate. Release your shoulders. Your shoulders aren't going to help you straighten the leg and lift the leg weight. One more here and release. Now lift the other side again and hold. Lift the heart. Lift the low rib ring and release. Lift the other side again and hold. Lift the navel ring, the low rib ring, the center chest ring. Lift the base of the skull and release. Let's try one more time on the first side. Lift, and from the hip, just tiny pulses up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and bend. Other leg straightens, lengthen the spine, and pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and bend. Let's come to standing, and let's bring the chair to the front of the mat, placing our hands on the seat of the chair. Come into your tabletop and take the leg straight back behind you. If it's comfortable, come to your fingertips. Try to turn the toes towards the floor and then pulse the heels skyward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Lengthen the leg, lengthen through your crown. See if you can float the fingers off the chair. Balance work. Strengthening, particularly in the buttock muscles. And hands to the chair, foot to the floor. Lift the other leg up. Come to your fingertips. And pulse the leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Lengthen from crown through the 4 corners of the lifted foot. See if you can float the fingers. Fluid breath. Sometimes the weight makes balance easier because you have better proprioception. Hands to the seat of the chair, foot to the floor. Lift the first leg again, bend the knee so the foot is facing towards the sky, and pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold up. Now draw in at the navel, lengthen along the spine, release the collar, lengthen the neck, and release the lifted leg. Lift the other leg, knee bent, and pulse the foot towards the ceiling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Lift underneath the navel, lengthen the spine. Decompress the lumbar spine, taking vertebrae away from vertebrae. And then do the same thing in the neck. And release. And inhale your cow. And exhale your hissing cat. And inhale your cow. And exhale your hissing cat. And then bend your one leg, your first leg, so that you have a right angle at the knee and pages of the book. Lift the leg and come down, or doggy at the fire hydrant. Lift the leg and come down. Try to keep the back of your neck long. You may be able to lift to fingertips and continue. I'm just going to mute us because I realized I didn't. Fluid breath. And come down, and let's try the other side. Lifting the knee out to the side and coming back down. Now notice if you're really tipping your pelvis to lift that leg, try to keep level across the pelvis as you lift the leg. Keep long in the neck, avoid collapsing in the shoulders. So much of this work is alignment based. Foot back to the floor, bend your knees, hand to the heart, Utkatasana, and come to standing. Okay, so we're just kind of going around through the muscles of the buttocks. Bring your chair so that the back is where you can use it for balance. If you'd rather use a wall because you're tall, then please do that. Take your right foot out to the edge, or your left, it doesn't really matter. I'm losing my hearing thing. Okay. And before we even begin to lift the leg, bring your hands to the navel ring and lift the navel ring away from the pelvis. You'll feel how when you lift the navel ring, you automatically kind of hug in the banks of your river. Now lift the low rib ring, lift the chest ring, lift the chin and the base of the skull. Hands to your support and lift and lower. Try to keep those rings lifting so you're not compressing in the spine, and you lift and lower. Let the hot air balloon lift you from the palate so we're not jutting the head forward of the body. Your arm can do whatever it likes. I just like having my arm involved. Now notice, are you wobbling on the arches of your feet? Those of you who were in yoga yesterday, you know, think of the work we did in opening the foot. Ground, everyone, your four corners of your foot and stabilize your arches. And release. Take the chair to the other side. I'll turn around on the wall. And again, as you take the foot out, lift the navel ring, the low rib ring, the mid-chest ring, lift the base of the skull and chin. Hot air balloon lifts you from center pellet. Float the leg up and down, lifting and lowering. We are working the abductors, AB ductors. Those are the muscles that take your leg out from the side. Fluid breath. Root down into the four corners of your standing foot and stabilize the three arches. Beautiful. One more. And land. Now, face your fingers towards the chair. With a lifted heart, take one foot behind you and lift the leg. Keep lifting from pubic bone to navel to heart to thyroid or hyoid bone, and pulse the leg behind you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. You're stretching your psoas. Take your inner thigh away from your navel. Lift your forehead. Shoulder blades strong on the back. See if you can float your arms off the chair and pause in balance. Four corners of the foot strong. Gaze towards the mountaintop and step down. A lot of us humans, as we age, if we're leaning forward and sitting a lot, we end up more in this kind of a shortened posture. So this work is really good during the day. Even if you're standing at the kitchen, just take one leg behind you as you chop your carrots. Okay. Lift your heel, toes pointing towards the floor, inner thigh away from navel to keep a long spine. Lifted heart, and we pulse the leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And hold. Come steady on your standing foot and see if you can release the arms. Floating the heart skyward, lengthening through the crown. And release. Okay, so let's move the chair out of our way now. And let's lift up our long TheraBand. Long TheraBand up over the top of the head. Bring your hands out and let them just drape towards the floor so there isn't too much pressure on the neck, but there is enough pressure to help you lengthen skyward, lifting the navel ring, the low rib ring, the chest ring. Find your shoulder blades wide on the back. Lift the base of the skull and the chin, the superhero eye band, and press into the TheraBand. Again, take one leg back and float it up and pause. Lengthen from the lifted foot through the crown and pulse the leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you need to go back to using the chair or the wall, you can. And step back down. Take the other foot back. Ground into your four corners, lengthen the spine and lift. Pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And hold. Inner thigh away from navel. Lift the base of the skull. And step down. Now, a different exercise. Take the first foot back. Now, find your abdominal core. Take a deep inhale. Exhale through your straw, lift the pelvic floor. Feel for your transverse abdominis and begin to hinge over the standing leg towards Virabhadrasana 3, working on balance. Fluid breath. Four corners of the foot plugged into the floor in standing. Hug in the banks of the river to help you stabilize at the pelvis and low spine. Float back up. Take the next foot back. Hug in the banks of your river. Fluid breath. Deep inhale. Exhale through your straw and hinge. Fluid breath. Four corners plugged in. Three arches active. And come up. Bring the TheraBand behind the low back ribs. Bring the arms forward, palms up, elbows in at your sides. Now, you take the hands a little wider as you take the hands forward. The TheraBand pulls on the low back ribs so that you can breathe into the low back ribs. But keep your neutral curve. As you inhale, lift to one toe and release. Lift to the other toe. And release. Heart stays lifted. Lift the knee. And release. Other side. A few more times. Inhale the lift. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale. Keep the heart lifted. The gaze at the mountaintop. Breathe into the low back ribs. Coming in, lift to one toe. Turn the knee out and float the knee and tap. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Turn it in and step down. Lift to the next toe. Find the banks of your river. Really lift the TheraBand at the low back ribs. Long lumbar spine. Turn the knee out and lift. Tap. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And turn it in, step down, release the TheraBand. Bring the TheraBand to the front, palms facing back, TheraBand against the thighs. Inhale, look to the right. Exhale, center. Press the hands and the head of the arm bones back. Inhale, look left. Exhale, center. Inhale, right. Exhale, center. Inhale, left. Exhale, center. Inhale, right. Pause. Take a few breaths here, rooting your tailbone, rooting your pubic bone. Knees spacious and aligned. Lift the crown and release. Inhale again. Palms and head of the arm bones press back. Look over the left shoulder. Fluid breath. And release. Take the TheraBand in your palms. Place your elbows in your golf tees. Open your arms out to the side, broad across your collar, and lift to one toe. Float that knee and circle. 2, 3, and step down. Lift to the other toe. Keeping the arms broad. Release the tailbone, lift the lowest rib ring, lift the knee, and circle. 2, 3, and step down, and release the arms. Okay, let's come to the floor. Have your Gertie ball, or if you'd prefer, your yoga block or your oov handy. Lay back. Place your head on your blanket. Release your hands, palms up to your sides. Relax into a lengthened spine. Breathe your shoulders broad. And exhale, float one leg to tabletop. Float it back down light as a feather. Float the other leg to tabletop. Those of you who do the foam roller work on Friday, this awareness, if you have the leg weights on, may really help you even when you don't have the leg weights on in that work. So we exhale, one leg lifts. We inhale, slowly and lightly lower it to the floor. Exhale, the next leg lifts. Inhale, lower it down. Exhale, float one leg up. Take an inhale. Exhale, float the next leg up. Take an inhale. And release one leg out to the side. Exhale it to center. Release the other leg out to the side. Exhale it to center. Inhale out and exhale in. Inhale out and exhale in. One more. Set. Inhale out. Exhale in. Inhale out. Exhale in. Now lengthen your right leg towards the far wall. Draw the left knee in. Your arms can stay on the floor, broad shoulders, and switch, and switch, and switch. Point the toes. Reach, reach. Try to reach through the pointed pinky toe. Reach, reach, reach. Now, feel into floining the feet. Press out through the ball mounds, through the transverse arch. Reach, 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 and flex the feet. Reach out through the heel. Press, 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 and press. Hug both knees into your chest. Circle the knees wide apart and back together again. Fluid breath. Be careful with your range of motion. Maybe make it a little smaller if you're using the weights. Take the legs around in the other direction. Fluid breath. Now holding the knees together, circle the perimeter of your sacrum. With the weights on, you may have a little bit more perception of what's happening around the perimeter of your sacrum because you have a little more pressure down. Take the circles the other way. Fluid breath. Good. And coming in. Lift your hands and feet for the sky. Now, if you have hand weights or leg weights on, take this lightly. Take your legs out. Your point of control will be sooner. Circle the arms and hug the knees in. Inhale out to your point of control. Circle and exhale in. Inhale out and exhale in. Inhale out and exhale in. One more. Reach it out and hug it in. Right leg overhead, left leg long. Be careful that you don't go into too far of a range of motion. Pulse, pulse, and switch. Pulse, pulse. Nod nose towards mouth. Almost lift from the hairline. Activate your front neck flexors and perhaps float the forehead towards the shin. Pulse, 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 pulse. Float the feet. Pulse, 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 pulse. Flex the feet. Pulse, 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 pulse. Bring the legs together and bend the knees. Toe dip one leg towards the floor. Come back up. Ground your shoulders, ground your arms. Stay strong from the low ribs to the hip pointers. If this puts undue pressure in your lumbar spine and you're wearing the leg weights, take them off now. Now, open the knees as wide as your shoulders. Continue your toe dipping. Inhaling down, exhaling up. Shoulders broad, gaze perpendicular to the floor. This is always a good series to know and have on hand. Some of you will bring the legs parallel and toe dip both legs and come up. If you have leg weights, don't go as far. Feel how you can draw the abdomen in around the spine, even as you work with the legs. Focus on finding that corset muscle, maybe even exhaling through your straw to wake it up. Stabilize the inner core. And one more. Now, if you have the leg weights on, go ahead and take them off. That was good work with the leg weights to begin with. And everybody, if you'd like, continue your toe dips or lift your feet towards the sky. Come into your Pilates V, heels glued together, flex the feet, lower the heels, point the toes and lift. Stay broad across the shoulders, strong from low ribs to hip pointers. Inhaling down and exhaling up, really active in your Pilates square. And those of you who had on the leg weights, your legs may feel so light now. Inhaling down and exhaling up. Inhaling down and exhaling up. Float your hands behind your head and exhale, lift the right elbow, lengthen the right leg. Now rest your head in your hands like it is a hand weight and switch sides. Let the head be a hand weight. Lift one shoulder, lift it as high as you can, and lift the other shoulder. Keep lengthening the spine so that you're not compressing vertebrae to vertebrae, but feel for one set of low ribs reaching across to the opposite hip pointer. Good morning, obliques. Fluid breath, head really resting into your hands. Point the feet. And then flex the feet. Now think of the beginning work we did with the vastus medialis, that inner quad. If you can, straighten the legs. Get that vastus medialis active. And we stay with the obliques a little longer today, really wanting strong muscles that help us with side bending and twisting. And put the brakes on our side bending and twists. Come back to center, release your head. Float one foot to the floor and then the other. Okay, so now either reach for your big hand weight or your sandbag to place over the top of your pelvis. I'll try it with my big hand weight today, just because I think more of you have those than sandbags. But if you have a sandbag, it's probably more comfortable, as long as you make it balanced. So bring the hand weight. Make sure your pillow is out before you work with the weight. Bring your hand weight onto the pelvis. And I bring it down almost even towards my femur bone and hold it kind of with my hand so it doesn't wobble around. So heels aligned with sit bones. If you can think about it, toes point down the mat. Long spine. Take a three-dimensional inhale. Exhale through your straw. Lift the pelvic floor into the body. Hug your transverse abdominis. 2 more like that. Taking a fluid inhale. Exhaling through your straw. Don't change the natural curves of your spine. 1 more deep inhale. Exhale through your straw. And on your next inhale, exhale and lift the pelvis. And lower the pelvis so it just comes towards earth and lift again. So you don't have to put your whole weight on the ground, just lift and lower. Lift and lower. Now when you lift, feel into activating each glute evenly into the bones to lift the pelvis. Try to feel the connection with each buttock. And here we are, strengthening also the hamstrings. This time, let's lift up. Draw your heels towards your buttocks. Don't worry, we will stretch the hamstrings too, but strengthening them will warm them up. Draw the heels towards the sit bones. Press them away. Draw the heels towards the sit bones. Press them away. Heels towards sit bones and press. Heels towards sit bones and press. Feel into the hamstrings working, heels towards sit bones and hold. Now don't pull so hard towards the sit bones that you cause yourself a cramp. Just pull kind of lightly and gently. And with your glutes, lift into the bone, lift the pelvis. Take a deep 3-dimensional breath. Feel into even the muscles of the low back, helping you lift. But also feel for your ability to breathe into the whole circumference of the torso. And lower your pelvis back to the floor. Release the weight off your pelvis and rock your pelvis side to side, lifting one hip and then the other. Fluid breath. Okay, let's reach for your Gertie ball. Put it in your right hand and floating your left leg up. Place the Gertie ball against the left leg. Press the hand into the ball, into the leg, leg into ball, into hand. Broad shoulders, long neck. Float the right leg to tabletop. Take the left arm overhead and float it up to touch the right knee. Now open left arm and toe dip right leg and touch. Keep pressing. Right hand into left leg through the Gertie ball. Try to stabilize that action even though the ball moves. And open the left arm away from the right knee. Some of you will straighten the right leg. Fluid breath. Feel how you can create stability for the movement. And if the movement gets jerky, then you've gone a little too far with the movement. Let the movement be smooth out and smooth in. Even if you're not going as far open, that's okay. One more. And coming in, we'll put the ball in the left hand against the right femur. Put the left foot on the floor, the right arm on the floor. Press the left hand in through the ball to the right femur and vice versa. Straighten and lengthen your spine. Feel for your neutral curves. Find your 3-dimensional breath as you do this work. Reaching your right arm into your Y overhead. Draw right palm towards left knee and toe dip and open the arm. Fluid breath. Keep pressure. Left hand to right femur to left hand through the ball. And fluid motion. Notice how fluid it is as you toe dip. And then those of you that want to straighten the leg and look for a smooth motion. So straight isn't better if you end up with a really jerky motion. We want fluidity to the moving parts from the stability we're creating with the other side. And come back up. Place the ball between your knees. And come to tabletop, arms relaxed, and pulse the ball with your knees. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Bring your hands behind your head, palms up. One hand resting in the other, head resting in the top hand. And lifting from your hairline, from the top of your forehead, lift the head. Keep lengthening the spine through the crown and rest the head into the hands. From the low ribs, reach for the hip pointers as you pulse your heart towards the ball and pulse the legs into the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Rest your head back. Low ribs reach for the hip pointers. Legs are hugging the ball. Take a deep inhale. Exhale through your straw, and inside the work, draw the pelvic floor into the body. And release. Release the ball from the knees. Float one foot to the floor and then the other. And come back into robot arms and lift into a bridge. Lift the right hip higher than the left. Swing across left. And as you lift one, activate that buttock, release the other. Fluid breath. Swing side to side. We get a stretch even as we work on strength. Come back to center and pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pulse heels towards buttocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Stand strong on all four corners. Lift your toes, lift your arches. Deep three-dimensional breath. Now open your arms out into a T at the elbows, fingers towards the sky, palms towards the foot of the mat, and really press down across your humerus bones. Three-dimensional breath. And again, pulse the pubic bone skyward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Reach both the pubic bone and tailbone long. Traction the pelvis away from the shoulders. Three-dimensional breath. You can leave the arms here or reach them towards the sky, take them overhead, and roll down one vertebrae at a time. Good. And let yourselves roll over and come up. Reach for a small hand weight and bring it in front of you. Come onto your side body and prepare for a side plank. Hand weight in your upper arm. Let the hand weight lift. Now remember, again, just like the legs, you can do all of this without the hand weight. But think about your palate in line with your heart, with your pelvis, even at the diagonal, and let the hand weight come down forward and float it back up and forward and up. One more time. Forward and up. And just this is going to give you side body strengthening. So those of you standing, you can lean into the standing arm and feel the side body you're leaning onto the wall or furniture with as active. Now lift the arm back out and hug the forearm you're leaning onto or the hand towards your hips. Feel that side body turn on. Okay, feel the active side body. Now press into your support. And if you are on the floor, lift your hips and lower your hips and lift your hips and lower. Those of you, yep, that looks good, Vicki. Fluid breath. Try not to have the movement so much in the shoulder joint, but more in the side body. Fluid breath. Yeah. Lift with that underside glute that we turned on earlier. And float up. See if you can hold the plank and draw the arm forward. And draw it up. Draw it forward and up. 3 beautiful repetitions instead of 20 sloppy ones. One more. And take the arm in a jumping jack overhead and down towards the hip. And up and down. And one more. Up and down. Land the hip, put down the hand weight, and lay down on your sides. Okay, a little hip work. So we are going to be open in the hips when we start the stretching. Okay, so arm can be perpendicular to your body with a higher pillow, even a yoga block might work. And we open the clamshell and close. So you can do this standing as well. Whether you're lying down or standing, try not to roll the hip back behind you. Imagine there's a wall at your sacrum and you can't roll back. You have to use your abductors. Lift the heels and open the clamshell and close. And open and close. Find your breath. It doesn't really matter whether you're exhaling and inhaling or inhaling and exhaling. Reach long in the top hip so you lift the bottom waistline off the floor. And one more here. And then straighten the legs in the position they are already in and float the top leg up and down. Now, as you float the leg up, think of someone tractioning it long away from you. One of my first Pilates teachers used to come around and traction our leg, and it felt so good. So I want you to think of someone actually pulling on that leg and you getting a little space in the hip joint. Come back down, point your toe, and draw your soccer ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Remember, if this is ever too much, you can go back to previous exercises. 1, other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Take the foot long, stretch down through your four corners. Now feel behind you for your lumbar curve. Keep your hand on your low back. I want you to keep that curve. Kick forward. Even if you're standing, draw back. So if you kick forward and you flatten that curve and your pelvis rounds forward and your tailbone reaches towards the foot that's moving, then you're going too far with the kick. Try to keep the lumbar curve. And kick and back, and one more. Kick and back. And release into your clamshell and pat your hip. It's done some really good work today. And let's take it to the other side. Okay, so some good work in arm strength and hip strength today. Take your hand weight with you for later. And come to your forearm. Pick up your hand weight. And really align yourself hip over hip, long spine. Feel into where your head is in space. If you can see it in your own monitor, look at your head and make sure you're not dropping it forward or at some weird angle. And float your hand weight up. Broad across your wingspan, spacious in the standing arm, lower the wing. And lift. And lower forward and lift back up. And forward and up. Don't ever take the wrist behind you and press the forearm forward into the rotator cuff. Come back up. Okay. Now you can stay with the hips on the ground or hug the buttocks in and lift. And lower the arm forward and float it up. And lower it forward. Keep lifting with the underside buttock as you move the arm. Stay strong in the Pilates square you turned on. Keep the rib rings reaching away from each other. And floating back up. Try taking the arm overhead. And come up. And overhead. And up. And overhead. And up. And release the hips. And release the hand weight. And come down to the floor for the work with our side lying legs. Okay, so side lying legs, hip above hip, heels aligned with your sit bones. We open the clamshell and we close and we open and we remember the wall behind the sacrum because it's a lot easier to open the leg if we just roll back, right? And so the body oftentimes follows the path of least resistance. So we have to create conscious resistance to develop strength in the areas of weakness. Lift the feet and open and close. It's pretty amazing how adaptable the body is. So other parts will do the work for weak parts, but we want those weak parts to get stronger. Stay long in the upper side body. You can press down towards the foot of the mat with your hand to help lift this side body on the floor from slumping. And then straighten the legs and float the leg out. If you're standing, you're getting some of the same abductor work we did earlier, so you're getting a lot of good anti-gravity hip work today. Those of you on the floor, you're getting it at a bit of a different angle. And when you come back down, draw your soccer balls. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Take the foot down the mat. Really lengthen. Take the femur bone out of the hip. Now, can you keep this sideways long as you point and kick forward? Flex and draw back. Now remember, the pelvis isn't going along for the ride, whether you're standing or lying down. Try to keep your neutral curves. Really nice posture, Vicky. That looks great. Your head is right over your heart. Fluid breath. Kicking forward. I got a thumbs up. Kicking forward and drawing back. Fluid breath. And enough. Pat that upper buttock. Nice work, body. Okay. Let's come on to our hands and knees. If you need a blanket under your knees or you'd prefer to be standing at the chair, then go ahead, stand at the chair. Okay. Hands and knees. I need to move my hand weight. Bring one of your hand weights with you. And today, let's try bird dog with the hand weight. Okay. So hand weight in one, let's say hand weight in your left hand. Step your right foot back. Now see, with the left foot still on, or the right foot still on the floor, can you lift the left arm? Now, if this doesn't work in your shoulder, don't do it. You could bring the arm back by your hip. In fact, let's all try that. Stay broad across your collar, soft in the knee, bring the hand back by the hip, and as you lift the hand, lift the foot. Stay strong in your Pilates square, long in your neck. Now, as you lift the leg, you're not dropping your belly into a back bend. You're staying strong in your Pilates square. Now lift hand and leg and pause. Broad across your collar. You could turn your palm down and release foot to the floor. Some of you will take the arm forward and lift foot and arm and lower. Now as you lift the arm, remember, you want the head of the arm bone released down towards the torso. You don't want to bunch it up around the neck and towards the ear. And you want space around the humerus bone. If you don't feel that space, if you're crunching, then don't do this exercise. And come back down. Let's take the hand weight to the other side. Okay, so we'll begin with the arm underneath us and bring it back towards the hip, palm facing the hip, and come back. And then lift the opposite leg. Lower the hand, lower the leg. Fluid breath. Okay, so we lift and lower. Your gaze is into the water, like you're snorkeling. These look good. You're not lifting the pelvis and tilting the vase of flowers off your sacrum when you lift the leg. Yeah, good. Now, those of you who want to bring the weight forward, bring it forward. Stay broad across your collar, long in the neck as you lift and lower. There's more danger here in losing your Pilates square and overarching your low back. So reach your tailbone long, away from the base of the skull. Still find space around the head of your arm bone. Pilates square is so strong. And lift and release. Roll back into your child's pose. Take a few breaths in child's. Fluid breath. Three-dimensional breath. See if you can let your hips relax. That's good. So Mom, I'd turn around and put your hands on your bed rail and then traction away from that if your shoulders will allow for that, because you'll get more lengthening in your spine. Fluid breath, you know what I mean? Like bend your knees and take your buttocks back to traction your spine. Yeah, more of a downward dog. Fluid breath. Walk your hands to the right, lift the left sit bone, stretch the left side body. And you can do that even if you're standing. Fluid breath. And you can gently roll across the shoulder girdle, the stretching side body towards the floor, and then it can lift away. And you can move the tissue and invite flow. Walk back through center to the other side. Lift the sit bone, stretch it wide away from the hand. And rock the armpit. Rock the shoulder. Rock the waistline. And then come back to center. Place your palms together, elbows underneath your shoulders, and walk back into a plank. Pause in your plank. You could do the plank against the wall. You could do the plank on your hands from a bed rail or a dresser. Make sure you're not dropping the buttocks. Better to have it a little high than to be a saggy-backed horse. Fluid breath. Three-dimensional breath. Space between the vertebrae. And release the knees. So you can go back to that low plank if that's best in your body, or come onto your hands, hug the finger pads towards the palms, and lift into your bear, just floating the knees off the floor. Floating the knees off the floor, you may sway like a bear to the left side of your body, placing more weight onto the left arm. And then the right. If that doesn't feel good in your body, don't do it. You're still getting plenty of strength work at the center. But if you'd like to, you can sway your body, putting more weight on those bones on the one side and then the other. And then float back up, bent knee, downward dog. Here we go for our hamstring stretches. Knees bend in towards your armpits. That's not a hamstring stretch. Slowly begin to straighten the legs, and when you feel the stretch is good in the middle of the muscle, stop. Fluid breath. This can be a half dog from a bed rail if you need it to be. So taking the pelvis back, feel for a stretch in the backs of your legs. Fluid breath. Now, if you would like a little more stretch in your downward dog than you're getting, those of you that are pretty flexible, step your right leg through under the body to the left and press the right hamstrings into the left quad. So the back of the right leg into the front of the left leg. And then walk your hands towards your feet to where you feel a stretch in the hip and the hamstrings. Fluid breath. Now, those of you that are really flexible may be able to walk way back. This will stretch areas of the body we've been strengthening today, the hip and the backs of the legs. Fluid breath into the stretching parts. And then walk your hands forward again. Step back through. and float the left leg under the right. Press the back of the left leg into the front of the right leg. That may be enough for you as you draw the right hip back, or you may be able to walk your hands toward your hips, still lifting the buttock high, stretching the hamstrings. Fluid breath. Three-dimensional breath. Reaching the hip back, you'll get into the deep hip tissue. And step the left foot back in. Bend your knees a lot and lay your belly on your femur bones as you walk your hands towards your feet. So some of you may be perpendicular here, okay? This is a great way to stretch your hamstrings, but to make sure it's a hamstring stretch, we keep the belly attached to the femur bones. And slowly lift the sit bones, belly on the femurs, stretching the backs of the legs, releasing the head and shoulders. Fluid, three-dimensional breath. Breathing the belly into the legs, lifting the sit bones only as high as is right in your unique body. Fluid breath. And bend the knees and unhinge, floating up to standing. And bring your hands to a wall. Bringing your hands to a wall, step the right foot forward and left foot back. And bend into the right knee. So it's kind of like a humble warrior in yoga, except your fingers can reach up the wall, come onto finger pads. And as you lunge into the front knee, hopefully you're getting a stretch in the length of the back leg, maybe particularly in the calves. This is good for the weight work we did. But some of you will feel it probably in the back of the knee, some in the hamstring. And then straighten the front leg and step in and take it to the other side. Stepping the foot back. Hands high on the wall, you're creating a nice diagonal with your body. Stepping the back foot back as far as is comfortable. Reaching the heel back to stretch through the calves. Stretch the back of the leg. And here even you can lift the navel ring, the rib ring, the chest ring. Fluid breath. Three-dimensional breath. And step back in. Now, hands at the wall. I'm going to move this hand weight out of the way. Hands at the wall. Let's walk back into a Parsvottanasana before we end today. So let your hands slowly come down the wall. Some of you will stop higher. Some will be able to come to parallel. And you're going to step 1 foot back and 1 foot forward. And you're going to just keep walking back and walking your hands down the wall and forward till you feel a nice stretch in the front hip and the front leg hamstrings. Some of you will be able to come down pretty far towards the floor, reaching the front leg hip crease back behind you, breathing into the hip and the hamstring of the front leg. Fluid, three-dimensional breath, tractioning the hips back. Long spine. And then walk the hands back up, stepping in. Pause for a moment. Feel the body side to side. Even after all the work we've done, one stretch can change the fabric. Hands up the wall, come down towards your half dog. Step the next foot forward, the opposite foot back. You're in kind of a rock step as you walk your hands down the wall, stretching that front leg hamstring. Keeping the spine spacious, it's a hinge from the hip. So you stop when it starts to be a cat curl from the lumbar spine. Fluid breath. Three-dimensional breath. If you have a lot of flexibility, your hands can come to the floor. Keep the hinge at the pelvis, at the hips. Make sure you're not hyperextending either knee, still connected from hips to feet. And walk the hands back up and come to standing. Center mat. Shoulder blades on your back body. Heart center. Feel for it. And let your palate float up towards the sky as your shoulders release. Feel your legs rooting down into earth. Breathe into the whole circle of your lowest ribs. Now, just for fun, take your left leg out for a moment. And inhale, float the leg, no leg weight. Float the arms. 3 times. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And let's try the other side. Ground the 4 corners of the foot as you're ready. You'll inhale and exhale. Feel into lengthening the spine. Notice if the fabric is more open now. Floating up and floating down. And let's take in a deep inhale for a wonderful Wednesday and rest of the week for all of you. Thank you. I hope you all have a great day.